Hey guys, how's it going? I just thought I'd make some videos that were long overdue. I'm gonna just go ahead and do a series of reviews talking about all of the remaining Transformer Prime toys that I have that I never got around to reviewing when they were originally released. This video is going to be about the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Cliffjumper here. And this is actually, it looks like the first edition in vehicle mode, but it's actually the GDO first edition Cliffjumper with the G1 styled heads. So anyway, as you can see, these two Cliffjumpers are pretty darn similar in vehicle mode. The first edition slash GDO one, as you can see, is a bit larger than the standard Robots in Disguise version. Let me go ahead and just zoom in a little bit so you can see maybe some of the differences a little bit. As you can see, he's the first edition is wider, and let me just aim the camera up here, and you can see he's also longer. So it's not a big size difference, but there is a size difference. The headlights are different colors on both of them. The horns are a little bit different, and the biggest, most obvious difference is the color of the plastic. It's brighter on the Robots in Disguise than it is on the GDO First Edition. But, you know, like I said, overall pretty darn similar in vehicle mode. I think they both look pretty cool. They both roll exceedingly well. Let me go ahead and just kind of give you a close-up here. We'll start off with the Robots in Disguise version. He's pretty well detailed, as you can see. He looks pretty cool, I think. I definitely like the look of this guy in vehicle mode. Really cool. And here we have the GDO First Edition. You know, and he looks, you know, I like this guy too. I like them both. I think I do slightly prefer this guy in vehicle mode to this guy, but it's not a huge preference. You know, they're both pretty darn nice. Now, one thing the Robots in Disguise version can do that the GDO doesn't, as you can see, there's a hole in the Robots in Disguise version's roof, so his weapon, of course, you know, plugs in there. So that's kind of cool. You know, I like that. Let me go ahead and just do a few quick size comparisons here to wrap up the vehicle mode portion. Here they are with their good buddy Bumblebee. And they scale pretty good together in vehicle mode. And there's our ID Optimus Prime. And I think they look pretty darn nice together. Anyway, that's pretty much gonna do it for these guys' vehicle mode. I'll be back in a flash to go over their robot modes with you. Okay guys, here we have both the Cliffjumpers transformed into their robot modes. On this side, we have the GDO Generations Cliffjumper with the G1 head. On this side, we have the Transformers RID Cliffjumper. Anyway, I'll go ahead and we'll start off by talking about the GDO Generations Cliffjumper. But before I do actually separate these guys, I forgot to note, even though you can tell these guys are obviously cut from the same cloth, you know, having pretty much the identical alt modes, you can tell that they are definitely different enough in robot mode to justify both of these guys' existence. And they're both pretty good figures in my opinion. Anyway, enough of that. This pretty much has the articulation you would expect. He's got foot pivot, bends at the knee, thigh swivel, leg forward, back, and out. Does not have waist rotation due to the transformation. Ball jointed shoulders, so all directions there. Bicep swivel. Double hinged elbow, which is pretty cool. And he does have wrist rotation. And let me just go ahead now and just kind of give you a 360 of this guy. He looks decent, even from the back, but we don't really care a whole lot about the back. And one thing is, of course, if you want, he can actually wield RID Cliffjumper's weapons. Or, I'm sorry, weapon. You know, he can hold it either as a gun or the hammer. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, his main weapons, though, are, of course, his built-in weapons, which are built into his arms. So let's go ahead and deploy those. And, there we go. As I struggle with it, as I always do when I'm filming these things. Alright, that side, he is deployed. And that one came easier. Okay. And there he is. And of course his headlights became dislodged in his back, but say lovey. There we go, that's better. There he is, properly transformed with his really cool blasters. Let me go ahead and just zoom in on him a little bit so you can get a better view. I especially like the G1 head sculpt. That is neat. That's very much appreciated that they did that on this figure. Unfortunately, this is the only G1 style Cliffjumper I have. I'm sure eventually we'll get a Masterpiece Cliffjumper. Since we're getting a Masterpiece Bumblebee, it's only a matter of time. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Anyway, that's it for that figure. So let me go ahead and just kind of slide him off to the background. Now, we'll talk about our good buddy Robots in Disguise, Transformers Prime, Cliffjumper. And we'll start off by doing a quick 360 of him. He looks okay from the back, a little bit hollow, but no biggie. Now, one thing I want to note before I start talking a little bit more about him is this is the official transformation. What I like to do, though, is just skip a step in the transformation. Basically, if you leave his wheel panels just kind of the way they are, his wheels point forward, and the reason I think that's better, A, I like the way that looks, and B, it gives his feet much more freedom of movement. His feet are on ball joints, so pretty much all directions on his feet. Bends at the knee, thigh swivel, ball jointed hips. This guy has some waist rotation. His head can rotate, ball jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, bends at the elbow, and his hands can kind of move in. So relatively posable, you know, pretty standard for a deluxe. Let me go ahead and zoom in on him a little bit better because I really like the way his that looks great. I really like that head sculpt, and his chest sculpt looks real good too. I mean, he's a pretty darn nice figure. Yeah, it's a bit of a cheat because that's not his actual, you know, roof and stuff, but so what? I still think it's an exceedingly good looking figure. I like the way those gears are back there. I mean, just really cool looking overall. The only disappointment, slight disappointment, is the arms because, you know, they just kind of fold together and they're hollow and stuff. But, you know, that doesn't detract from the toy too much. And as far as his weapon goes, you have two options for how you want to have him wield it. You can have him wield it. Oh, jeez. Come on. There we go. You can have him wield it as a hammer, so you can beat stuff up, or have him hold it as a gun, you know, whichever. So I guess maybe when he runs out of ammo, he can start beating people with the gun, right? That sounds like a good solution for Cliffjumper. And let's go ahead and just do a few quick size comparisons here. I have to scoot these guys a bit back to get some more guys in the frame. Here they are with first edition Bumblebee, and that looks okay. And here they are with first edition Optimus. Pretty good scale with him. It's hard for me to actually pick a favorite between these two. I think I guess he wanted to fall over. I think they're both really good figures, well executed, and honestly, I think they're both worth having in your collection. Especially if you're a Cliffjumper fan, you know, they both fit in real well. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this whole thing up. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you next time.